We're back working on our fairy forest today. The last time I worked on these beautiful fairy custom designs and I'm so happy with them. So now we have to make them a cute little home. I worked on some terraforming here to make a little waterfall section on the left-hand side of this build area. And then I built up some terraforming in the back just so that we'd have it be more of like this little hidden grotto where the fairies live. And I am aggressively editing this video because this entire build took about an hour, so to get it down to a cutie little 3-minute short means I'm just giving you the highlights of each area of the build. It's a pretty small little area. I started by adding some trees and then I went in with flowers and shrubs. I even added in a couple bamboo trees, which is something I haven't done in any other area of this island, but it does add like a little whimsical touch, something a little bit different for this area. I also add in a lot of hanging vines along the edge of the cliff terraforming, as well as glowing moss all over the place in the end as well. For pathing, I'm choosing to do some plain in-game dirt pathing combined with some sand path, and then just random custom designs sprinkled in between. I'm also putting a transparent pixel version of my path that I'm using all throughout my island, the one that I created, to put on top of some of the sand patches to give it a little bit more depth and contrast. And then it's time for furniture, and of course I'm using my little fairy standees. They're not standees. I always forget that it's called a tabletop pop display or something. I don't know. I can never hold in my mind the name of that item. Some of my favorite things to use to decorate in this area were the mum cushions and the glowing moss stools. I had thought that you could put like bug models or these tabletop pop displays on top of the mum cushion and on top of the glowing moss stool, but unfortunately you cannot. These items are like specifically stool items, so you can't put anything on top of them. I love these doll houses. If you do make this build, remember to turn your dollhouse lights on by tapping them extra after you set them down. It just adds like such a cute little neighborhood vibe, like this is where they live, which also really reminds me of when I was a kid and my sister and I would make like little fairy homes in my mom's garden. And someone commented that having them on these little stands is kind of reminiscent of the hoax that happened in the 1800s where people were taking photos of like little paper fairies. And I actually love that so much because it was one of my favorite movies as a kid. And here are some final shots of the build after I've added the finishing details. I love how this build came out, especially at night when all the little houses are lit up with their lights and the glowing moss is glowing. It's just so freaking cute. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody.